All right, guys, let's continue. Now we need to push our project to GitHub. I am not going to give you a very complicated definition of what GitHub is, since this is not the main purpose of this course. And also, I think you might have a better definition once you work with GitHub and understand what it does. So for me, I'll just say GitHub is some sort of a safe storage space which is online to just save your file. And in our case, we are going to save our code files, okay? And that's it. So I will ask you, or I will require you to go to the GitHub homepage and register there and create an account. Okay, so for me, I've already got an account, so I'm just going to go to github.com. So as you can see, these are my previous project. GitHub, it's a bit easier, believe me, it's not that difficult. So now we want to create a new repo. So let's do that. So as you can see here, we can put a repository name, which in our case is going to be furniture with an X. It looks like we are good to go. Here I will just type next.js e-commerce app. Okay. Here, feel free to put whatever you want to put. So I'm not going to make this public for now. Maybe later I might change, but I don't really see a need why it must be public, unless maybe as time goes by, you never know, somebody might want a source code. Maybe I might make it public, but for now, let's make it private. All right, and then let's create the repository. Okay, guys, as you can see now, we have created the repository. Okay, so now we need to some sort of link Visual Studio Code or some sort of copy the files that are local in our machine to GitHub, let's say, more like uploading, let's say. Okay, so obviously there is procedures to anything. So with GitHub, let's just copy this URL and let's go back to our source code. Okay, my apologies about this appears on a different screen, so I'm going to bring it into this screen. So what we are going to do now, on your Visual Studio Code, if you have managed to install GitHub or Git, okay, let me just give you an idea just in case you know nothing about these things. Okay, obviously, this is just a brief definition to get you to understand what's going on. So we've got GitHub, which I believe it's a cloud storage. Okay, treat it that way. And we've got Git. Okay, we've got Git, which is more like a version control mechanism. Okay, so obviously these pieces of technologies work together. Okay, so I believe that you must first install Git, a version control mechanism. Okay, what is a version control mechanism? Working with files, any files, be it a Word document, be it a financial document, be it a code. Okay, you work on it and you some sort of make different versions of the file as you continue, right? Yes, so it's very important to keep track of those versions and also be able to roll back or go back in time. Okay, you with more especially with code. Okay, sometimes you make some mistakes and let's say you things crash, or maybe you make some what can I say, unreversible mistakes. Okay, so in that case, in the code, you can roll back in time and maybe load the previous version which was working. So I hope you get the idea of Git. So if you look at that versioning control and saving, so we've got Git and GitHub. Git working on with the version control and GitHub saving your files. Okay, so with that being said, I think you have to install Git in your own system, and then from there you will have to link your Git to Visual Studio Code, and then also link your GitHub to Visual Studio Code. Please take it into your own hands to make sure that you do that. Okay, So with that being done, then you can come here. So on your Visual Studio Code, you are going to see this section. Okay, so in this section, I must be honest, guys, I am not the master in this. I'm just going to show you just to get, what can I say, the job done. Okay, obviously it might happen as a student you are better than me. Your Git and GitHub skills are exceptional. Okay, one day I would like you to teach me. Okay, so I'm trying to say I'm not the best in this. Okay, maybe it might happen even the way I'm going to show you, it's not like, let's say, the proper or the best way. Okay, it's just something that I've figured out as time goes by. Okay, so let's continue, guys. So these are our files locally, right? Yes, so we are going to come here. Okay, and then here we are going to check here, and then we are going to type, what can I say, first we need to add some sort of a Git repository. You see, as I've told you that I am not the best in this thing. Okay, we need to add a remote. Okay, cool. Now let's first add a remote. Okay, we're going to go here and add a remote, as you can see. So it's a provide a repository URL. Okay, we've already copied the URL, as you can see. This is my username / this is the URL. Okay, obviously this URL is private. Maybe if you might try it, let's say type my own URL, it's not going to work because it's private. However, remember, my own Visual Studio Code is connected to Git, and it's also connected to my GitHub. So with me, I'm not going to have some security issues. I hope if you're following along, if you put all your credentials, everything will work fine. So now we are linking a remote. So it's like we are telling Visual Studio Code that you need to save our files in this, let's say, URL, or in this cloud-based storage space. Say, I hope you get that one. So I'm just going to press enter here. So let's give this a name. Usually I just write the app name here. Okay, furniture, and then we're going to press enter. So as you can see here, something is processing. Okay, so meaning that now my Visual Studio Code is connecting to GitHub. Okay, I think it's done. Okay, I think it's done. And then from there, now we need to save the files. Okay, another thing that maybe you might need to know about this. Okay, remember, we've got cloud storage, GitHub, and we've got Git as version control. Okay, so meaning that we are controlling the versions. Okay, so Git or GitHub, okay, has got this thing called branches. Okay, think of the branches of a tree. Okay, it starts from the roots. Okay, it goes up with the stem, and then maybe it will maybe you might encounter the first branch. Okay, you will branch to certain leaves or to other branches. So if you can see that there is some sort of a tree structure. So how does this tree structure and branches relate to what we are doing? Okay, let me just give you an example. Okay, let me show, I might as well show a tree here. Okay, let's say a tree vector. Okay, a tree vector. All right, I think maybe this one might be better, or maybe is there another one? Okay, let's just work with what we have. Maybe this one. Okay, yes, this one will be better. So this means that, guys, okay, as you work with your own code, okay, you might have some different branches. Okay, and obviously this explanation is just a shallow explanation. Okay, let's just use this one. I hope it's going to show up very big. Okay, nice. So as you can see, guys, let's say we were working here. Okay, these roots as our branch. Okay, what a branch might represent, it might represent a certain what can I say, a certain group of versions of changes. Okay, let's say I'm typing a document and I'm busy with the introduction. Okay, so obviously in this introduction I will make a lot of revision. So let's call this branch some sort of a group of a state. Okay, in the process, okay, of a, with a collection of changes. Okay, so let's call this branch, let's say, introduction. I will work on the introduction, work on the introduction. Whenever I save something, it's saved under that branch, which is introduction. So as I am working, now I am branching into, let's say this branch is the body. Okay, so I will create another branch and I will call this branch the body, and then I will work on the body of my proposal, let's say, or whatever. Work on the body, work on the body. When I'm done with that, I will have another branch, which is, let's say, conclusion. Okay, so as you can see, these branches are some sort of some snapshots, okay, of a point in time, okay, so that if you might want to know all the changes or some sort of the revisions which are under a certain branch, you can go there. So it's more like a grouping mechanism. So at least that one, it's worth mentioning and it's important. So at this point in time, check here, we are working on a master branch. As you can see, this branch, it's called master. Okay, so I hope you can see this. Okay, so that means we are working on some sort of, let's call it a root. Will there be a thing called a root branch? Okay, or whatever. Okay, English is not my mother tongue. I hope there is something like that. Okay, so this is some sort of a startup branch. So now what we need to do, we need to save whatever that we have here. Okay, so let's see. First of all, we need to commit. Committing is more like saving, and then pushing it is more like saving it to the cloud. Okay, so the Git mechanism, okay, is working locally on your computer, I believe. Okay, I stand to be corrected, but I believe it can work locally without being connected. It just keep track of your commit, and then the pushing command saves it online. So let's continue, guys. So now we need to commit and push. It's like we are saving this progress, and also we are publishing it or uploading it online. Okay, so as you can see, I think it was supposed to give me a message part. As you can see, guys, okay, it's here, but it's me. I didn't what can I say, I didn't check it because it was something like this. Okay, remember I told you that I'm not a guru when it comes to GitHub, but I'm going to teach you just to solve the problem. So as you can see, guys, commit and push. Okay, so for now, let's just type here init. Okay, this is a lot of the initial push or commit. Okay, so let me type init here, push and commit again. Okay, so as you can see, guys, it looks like now everything is going well. So after this, as you can see, guys, so after this, let's go back to our GitHub to check if is everything well. So as you can see, guys, we are still on the same URL. I'm just going to refresh. I'm hoping to see some files here. So as you can see, guys, we've got some files. Okay, so whatever that we do in our code, okay, whatever that we do, whatever change that we do here, we can do, for instance, let's say dash dash. Okay, and then click save. Okay, as you can see, guys, now this gives us an option to save. Okay, so if we want to save these small changes that we did, we can do so. So this means that now we are safe. Okay, as you know that coding, it's a complicated task. Okay, it has got a lot of pieces working together, so it's easy to touch one piece and then the rest of other pieces collapse. It's possible. So you need to always incrementally save your progress. Okay, so Git and GitHub are helping us with that. Thank you so much for making it up to this far. I'm Matthew Msingathi. I'm the designer and developer. If this is adding value to you, please don't forget to leave a positive review. Thank you so much. See you on the next one.